If Figma cost twice as much tomorrow, designers still couldn't leave. The psychological system that they've built is so sophisticated, it makes Stockholm Syndrome look like a weekend hobby. And today, I'm reverse engineering the most sticky platform ever built for creative professionals. Now, if you're new around here, my name is Jono, and I help companies spark movements, not just user bases. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand the exact framework that Figma uses to make designers recruit other designers and how you can generate similar network effects too. Now, let's start out with some numbers that will kind of make your accountant weep, because Figma hit $749 million in revenue in 2024. That's growing 48% year over year. They've got about 6 million users spread across companies like Microsoft and Stripe, and Netflix and GitHub. But here is the truly bonkers bit, because from 2018 to 2024, their revenue grew by 187 times. That's $4 million to $749 million in just 6 years. Now, the secret to all of the success is what I call the network prison paradox. You see, Figma didn't just build a better mousetrap. They built a mousetrap where the mice recruit other mice, train them to love the trap, and then guard the exits. You see, traditional design tools had a pretty fundamental flaw. They were lonely. A designer would create something beautiful in Sketch or Adobe XD and then immediately hit a collaboration wall. You see, they'd export static images, they'd send them out via Slack, watch developers squint at pixelated screenshots, and then pray that what got built kind of resembled what they designed. And this kind of poor design collaboration cost companies millions in wasted development cycles. Now, Figma's founders, Dylan Field and Evan Wallace, made a crucial observation while studying computer science at Brown University. You see, they noticed something kind of peculiar, and that's that design was the only creative discipline that hadn't figured out how to work together in real time. Musicians had collaborative software, writers had shared documents, even accountants had cloud-based spreadsheets, but designers? Well, they were still passing files around like it was 1995. Now, the breakthrough insight was recognizing that design is an inherently cross-functional process. It involves designers, product managers, engineers, marketers, and executives. And each group has very different needs, very different vocabularies, and very different definitions of what makes a design good. Now, here's where Figma got diabolically clever, because they built a cross-site network effect engine. This is where one group on a platform grows because another group on the platform has grown too. And this happened at Figma with 4 interconnected loops that make switching away from Figma nearly impossible. Now, loop number 1 is the designer stickiness loop. You see, when designers use Figma, they create beautiful interactive prototypes that non-designers can actually understand. Product managers can click through user flows, engineers can inspect spacing and colors, and executives can experience the product vision without squinting at static mockups. You see, each time a designer shares a Figma file, it's kind of first hits free for Figma. Now, loop number 2 is the non-designer conversion loop. You see, once non-designers experience Figma's collaboration features, they become evangelical about it. That product manager who can finally comment directly on designs, they're now demanding every design team they work uses Figma. The engineer who can extract exact CSS values, they're refusing to work with static files ever again. These converted non-designers become Figma's most powerful advocates, and they spread it to other teams and companies. Oh, and by the way, if you find this video useful, I'd love it if you could throw us a like and a subscribe. It really helps smaller channels like mine stand out in the noise. Now, loop number 3 is the organizational infiltration loop. You see, as Figma spreads through cross-functional teams, it creates what I like to call collaboration debt. You see, once you've experienced seamless design collaboration with Figma, going back feels like trying to perform surgery with oven mitts. Teams become dependent not just on Figma's features, but also on the shared vocabulary and workflows that it enables. And then this debt accumulates across projects, teams, and even companies as employees move between organizations. And loop number 4 is the ecosystem loop. You see, the Figma community was launched in 2019 with design templates, plugins, and resources all created by users. Now, this seemingly innocent feature created a massive switching cost. You see, teams don't just use Figma, they build their design systems, component libraries, and entire workflows around it. So leaving Figma means abandoning thousands of hours of accumulated digital assets and starting from scratch. So let me paint a picture of how powerful all of this becomes. Sarah, A product manager at a startup starts using Figma because it's free. She creates a few components, shares them with her team, and then Jake, the product manager, loves being able to comment directly on designs instead of sending confusing Slack messages. Now, Mary, the engineer, discovers that she can export assets and copy CSS properties directly from Figma. Also, the CEO tries the prototype on her phone and finally understands what the product's supposed to feel like. 6 months later, they've built an entire design system in Figma. Component libraries, brand guidelines, user flow templates, their entire design DNA lives in Figma's ecosystem. Sarah changes jobs, and what's the first thing she does? She immediately starts advocating for Figma at a new company because leaving feels like starting over with one hand tied behind her back. Now, remember earlier on how I mentioned that Figma users will recommend Figma to other designers? Well, that's not just because of satisfaction. That's network effects rocking its little cotton socks off, because each satisfied user becomes a missionary spreading the Figma gospel. And the numbers tell a staggering story here. From 2017 to 2023, while Figma grew from 7% market share to 90% market share, Sketch dropped from 45% down to 4.5%. That's not gradual market adoption, that's a network effect steamroller. Adobe XD and InVision didn't just lose market share, they essentially ceased to exist as viable competitors. But here's the truly remarkable bit, because Figma achieved all of this dominance while being more expensive than most alternatives. They're not winning on price, they're winning on network effects so powerful that price becomes fucking irrelevant. When switching means rebuilding your entire design infrastructure and retraining your cross-functional teams, paying extra for Figma becomes an obvious choice. And by the way, this is where my company, StateShift, helps companies systematically transform these organic network effects into really scalable growth engines. We help you to prioritize and sequence the right work and outcomes, align your assets, zone in on the right kind of metrics, and build super authentic ecosystems that really compound engagement and results. You can find out more by checking the link down there. Now, these cross-site network effects drive significant portions of Figma's growth through existing user advocacy. Nearly half of their expansion comes from users who are so locked in and devoted to their ecosystem that they actively recruit new members. So, let's extract the actionable principles that you can apply in your world, because Figma's success really comes down to 5 systematic approaches. Now, firstly, design for cross-site value. Don't just solve for your primary user. Identify everyone who touches your primary user's work and make their lives better too. This is the key secret that I want you to take away from Figma's story. Figma didn't just improve design, they improved design collaboration, review, handoff, and other elements of the process. Secondly, you want to create collaborative debt. Build workflows and features so awesome that it becomes painful to abandon. Once teams experience seamless collaboration in your platform, switching away means honestly accepting inferior collaboration elsewhere. And then this debt accumulates over time and it makes your platform really compelling. Thirdly, make sure you focus on user-generated content. Let your users create valuable assets within your platform that honestly become switching costs. Component libraries, templates, plugins, custom integrations, each one of these makes moving away a bit of a pain in the ass. Fourthly, nail evangelism through shared success. You see, when multiple stakeholders all succeed in your platform, they become a distributed advocacy force. Each positive collaboration experience makes multiple advocates who then spread your tool to other teams and companies. And finally, sequence your network effects strategically. Start with the direct network effects among your primary target users, and then layer in the cross-site network effects with your secondary users. Each loop that I mentioned earlier on should really reinforce the others, and then this creates compounded benefits. Now, as I pull this together, I want to leave you with 3 key takeaways from this story. Cross-site network effects are way more powerful than direct network effects because they jump between user groups and organizations. Collaborative debt becomes a super competitive moat when switching means accepting inferior workflows, and user-generated assets and content in your platform mean that switching away is just a giant pain in the ass. Now, if you want to learn more about how to build awesome movements around your company, products, and projects, make sure you go and hit that little subscribe button. But now I want you to go and watch a video that I think is going to be the perfect next step on your journey. If you go and click on this video over here, I'm going to bust a myth that a lot of companies buy into, and that's that to be successful with content, you have to post a load of it online. This is nonsense. And companies like Stripe, Notion, and Figma again have been able to create amazingly powerful content and post a lot less of it online. It's going to free you up a ton of time. So go check out that video next, and I'll see you there.